everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. As always, it's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only. It is Uncle Rico, Eric, and as always, we are brought to you by Royal Retros, your one-stop shop for all things classic sportswear. They got old basketball team jerseys, they got hats, they got football jerseys, they got accessories, they got it all. And when you go to Royal Retros and get your cool sick ass merch, make sure you guys use promo code SPRINGFEVER, all caps, down below. You can see what it is for 10% off at checkout. Eric, what's up, my dude?
I mean, for those basketball fans, they have the Warriors, the town jersey.
That's awesome.
I mean, if you're a basketball fan and you're not buying that and it's the old school one, you are completely missing out. I'm doing pretty good, man. Just looking at the Royal Retro site right now. Some sick gear, man. Some real sick gear. So hopefully you guys check that out.
They have some of the best gear around. Today's show is going to be a nice 1-2. How do you do? We're going to recap last week's CFL action. We're going to pick this week's CFL games. And we're going to give you a little insight on the IFL playoffs. I'm waiting until all the contracts and everything is signed for the XFL and USFL to do like a big list of all the stuff. There was a little bit of a how do you do with
Combine, right?
What was that?
Wasn't there the XFL Combine?
Yeah, XFL Combine happened today. It started today. They live streamed it, which was cool. I caught a little bit of that at work. It was pretty nice. And the other thing is, people were trying to make a big deal out of it. The copyright, I believe, or the trademark for the LA Wildcats, they transferred it over, so they still have the trademark for the LA Wildcats.
Oh, so they're already adding a new team? Is that what you're
saying?
No.
They had the trademark because the LA Wildcats were a team back in 2020, so they still own the rights to that, name and everything.
Okay.
I wish they'd bring them back because out of all 2020, the LA Wildcats might have been my favorite team because their head coach was amazing and just a character to watch. And Josh Johnson, as much as PJ Walker gets all the love and as much as I love him, Josh Johnson, in my opinion, was probably the best quarterback in the XFL. If the whole season would have played out, I think that's how it would have shaken down.
I agree with that.
He looked awesome. But we're here to talk CFL. Let's talk about the previous week of CFL action, starting with the Edmonton Elks versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Eric, this might have been our first push of the season. The Elks were 14-point dogs, and they lose 14-28.
I'll be honest, I did not bet this game.
I did not either, but I wish I would have going in because at halftime, Eric, it was tied 6-6, and then just classic Elk style second half collapse.
I like it.
People are clamoring for Trey Ford to get a start at quarterback for the Edmonton Elks. At this point, they really have nothing to lose. They might as well try to see what they got out of him.
All right. I agree. And I wanted to ask you a question.
Ask away.
Do we need to start looking at betting game props, player props in these?
We might.
Because Chad Kelly's over-under for rush for passing yards was 260.
His last week's was 260?
Yeah.
We'll take a look at what he's got in the next game. Zach Collaro's kind of a bounce back. Winnipeg, I'm not going to really pat you on the back for beating Edmonton. They're the worst team in the league.
No, not at all. And it was tied at 6 at halftime.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's gross.
It was like putrid.
Something that wasn't putrid, however, Toronto Argonauts 31, Hamilton Tiger Cats 15. I called this one a little bit, saying what Toronto loves to do is just pound Hamilton into the dirt. As Eric was saying, what was Swag Kelly's prop? What was the prop you were mentioning?
260.
Passing yards?
Passing yards, 260 and a half.
What do you think he had, unless you already looked it up?
Oh, I already looked it up.
306. He had 306. Yeah. Toronto's the best team in the league. I don't know what to tell you guys. And Hamilton is still not what they're not good. The Tiger Cats are not a good team. There's not really too much to say about it.
And you know what? They're beating Ottawa this weekend. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, he's calling it. He's calling his shot. Speaking of which, we can just skip ahead. Ottawa 43, Calgary 41 in overtime again. What a time to be alive for Redblacks fans. I can't remember talking to Redblacks fans and them being this happy about like a 2-game stretch. Dustin Crum actually looked pretty good this game. And I don't know, man. I think Jake Mayer's good for Calgary. This was a weird game.
Weird game. I think it was kind of a fluky game too.
You could say the same thing about Ottawa's game last week. They're kind of riding real hot right now. Real hot. A friggin' 43-41 win the week prior, a 31-28 win, both in overtime. They're riding hot, Eric. They're riding too close to the sun, some would say. Saskatchewan 9, BC 19.
Barn burner.
I just think this show, like, I don't know. Saskatchewan's just... The Rough Riders are in a rough state. They're in rough shape. Again, this is Mason Fine's first start of the season. He's going to be the guy going forward. You even saw Shea Patterson in for a play.
Shane, the worst quarterback ever, Patterson.
I do think Mason Fine could improve throughout the season. It's whether or not to be seen, I'm not sure. BC, they didn't really need to do much, but they did it. They didn't even use Vernon Adams at all. It was Dane Evans getting the start, so they were just kind of like seeing what they had.
Yeah.
They were playing around.
Which makes sense.
It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. And as we come to like the halfway point, Eric, I think things are shaping up where it's really, I don't even know if I'd argue a 3-horse race. It's really just Toronto and BC. Winnipeg's kind of like that tier to themselves below both of those teams right now.
But do you think they're just kind of cruising?
I don't know, dude. I don't think a cruising Winnipeg should lose to Ottawa.
That's true. That's true. That game was fun.
And I don't think they should have a game with Edmonton.
Yeah.
Like that's the worrying thing for me. Like you can lose to these other teams. You can lose to these like Torontos and these BCs and be fine, Winnipeg. But when you're starting to be losing to Ottawa and being competitive with Edmonton,
that's a little bit of a worry. That's a little bit of a worry. That's a worry.
Let's look to the future now. Game number 1 on the docket, Eric. The Hamilton Tiger Cats are taking on the Ottawa Redblacks. Ottawa at home is minus 3.5, over under 48.5, plus 155 on the money line for the Ticats. I'm betting the Ticats.
You have to bet the Ticats here. You have to. Who is Ottawa to be laying points at home?
Maybe they've broken the curse and can actually win games at home again since defeating Winnipeg. But this 2-week stretch is crazy. Give me Hamilton plus 3.5. Give me the money line.
Yep.
Please, baby. Please. Game number 2, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Toronto Argonauts. Largest spread of the weekend, Eric. Argos minus 10.5, over under 47.5, plus 405 for the Roughriders.
A lot of points, dude.
It's a lot of points, but I think the Argos can cover it. This might be an Argos team total over 29 play.
This is the best bet is no bet.
I don't believe that. I'm back on my bullshit, Eric. I'm sorry to admit that I'm back on my shit. That I don't believe that. Yeah, I'm going to do Argos over 29.5 points team total. Up next, we have the BC Lions and the Edmonton Elks. BC minus 8 on the road, over under 43.
What I'm going to do,
I'm going to take the Elks plus 4.5 first half.
I like that. You mentioned it last week, how we need to start looking to take the Elks for the first half. I agree with that thesis. I'm going to be looking at Vernon Adams passing yard props.
Ooh. Getting sick with it. I like it.
That's what I am going to be looking
Once those come out, damn it.
Does
your book have them now or no?
This is weird. It says this is like so it has the passing yard props under the BC Lions game. Guess what quarterbacks it has listed?
Dane Evans and Vernon Adams. Who do they have?
No Vernon Adams is listed.
Who do they have listed? Is it Dane Evans?
Yeah. Is he starting?
Let's see what happened here. Something might have happened, and I'm just not aware because I'm a fucking fool. Yep, he's out.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, because he got hurt. Knee injury.
Ooh. Interesting.
They're sitting him out just to avoid any potential long-term injuries. So he's not like has to sit out, but they're having him sit out.
Chad Kelly is up to 266.5.
Yeah, I'd take that over. Rough Riders suck.
Yeah, I would.
I'm taking the Elks first half plus 4.5. That's my only bet.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Last game on the docket, Eric. Calgary Stampeders, Montreal Alouettes. Alouettes minus 2.5 at home. Over under 47.5. Give me the Alouettes minus 2.5 at home.
Agree 155%.
Yeah, just give it to me all day. I might dabble with that over, but I'm really just feeling the 2.5.
I agree 100%.
My favorite bet though, that's my favorite bet. That's my favorite bet of the whole weekend.
Mine is I'm fading Ottawa.
You're fading Ottawa?
Yeah, that's my favorite bet. Give me the Tiger Cats.
I love it. I love it, Eric, and I love you. Other news. Indoor Football League going on right now. We're in the playoffs. Round 1 results. Quad City. I'm dying. Quad City Steamwheelers fall to the Frisco Fighters 57-29. The most decidedly playoff game. The game that I was streaming is the next one. Sioux Falls Storm, Mass Pirates. The Sioux Falls Storm came back, didn't lead until the fourth quarter, win this one 42-39. This game was awesome. Eric, you popped in for a little bit. You popped in.
I popped in. Great crowd surfing. Great crowd watching.
This game was incredible. I had a blast watching it. Northern Arizona Wranglers defeat the Arizona Rattlers 62-53, and the Tucson Sugar Skulls fall to the Bay Area Panthers 46-34. It's conference championship time, Eric. We have the Sioux Falls Storm at the Frisco Fighters. The Sioux Falls Storm playing for a coach who's going to retire. The Frisco Fighters looking to just continue their dominance of the season. And the Northern Arizona Wranglers versus the Bay Area Panthers. We're looking at 2 banger games this weekend. Both on Saturday. So, IFL, here's some free advice for you. You're playing both your games on Saturday. That's fine. Maybe stagger them a little bit better. So the Sioux Falls Frisco game starts at 7:05. The Northern Arizona and Bay Area game starts at 8:05. There's an hour overlap.
I'm not a fan of that.
I would stagger them maybe a little bit better, boys. Maybe a bit. Stagger them a smidgen, perhaps. You could call it a smidgen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to say Frisco beats Sioux Falls and Northern Arizona beats the Panthers. We get a Frisco Fighters, Northern Arizona Wranglers.
I'm saying
Sioux
Falls will win it all.
You think Sioux Falls? You're going with the storyline aspect.
I'm playing the narrative.
I like it. Play the narrative. That's the best way to do it, especially when you're gambling, especially when you're picking. I love it, Eric. Folks, this is a quick one. This is just a how do you do an in and out, a bang, just close your eyes, eat it out. You're good to go. Eric, where can the people find you?
At ETOF21 on social media.
Y'all know where to find me at XFL Gym everywhere. And make sure you guys hit up Royal Retros. It does help the show. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Spring Fever.